For me, watching games early in the season, missed tackles is always higher earlier in the season. As much as some teams want to practice it, drill it, the reality is with a lot of veteran players not playing in the preseason and only having 3 preseason games, it always seems to me, Joe, that tackling is shoddy at best early on.
Yeah, we're going to definitely see some rough spots, but we're also going to see some really good play. I mean, these guys have been, working hard. The one less preseason game in my mind is more than made up. Teams that had 1, some even had 2 practices with other teams. And we're really going to start to be able to sweat out some of these teams. There's a group we know are good, and there's a group we're going to have to wait and see, but look like they may be a lot better than they were a year ago. I mean, it's Dallas with getting Prescott back, upgrading the offensive line and getting a full year of Herbert. And there's going to be some really interesting things to see out there with, in my mind, kind of more uncertainty, even at the upper levels. I mean, the very top few teams are clear. You get below that, I think we got a little bit more to learn as we start seeing the games, which will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, to me, that's always the best part of the sport is like the untold story. Is it Carolina with Darnold or New Orleans with Jameis Winston? But I think there'll be some teams, certainly in the NFC, that will emerge. And I think, to me, in the AFC, what I'm most excited about, Justin Herbert, taking another step this year with being the starter, in terms of having the keys from the beginning of the season. Brandon Staley, I think, is a bright young coach. That division to me is very intriguing.
Yeah, I was just about to say, when you that division, I mean, on paper, that's as strong a division as we've seen in a long time. I mean, the Chiefs are still outstanding. I mean, on paper, in my mind, clear favorite to win the Super Bowl. Doesn't mean they do, but on paper, clear favorite. You got Denver, if they can get some decent play out of quarterback, that's a heck of a roster. San Diego, as you said, you got Herbert, you finally got an upgraded offensive line. The rest of the team, to me, has been strong for a while, other than the injuries. And I worked with John Gruden. Don't fall asleep on John Gruden. I mean, he hasn't lived up to expectations, but John's a really smart, determined guy. You got 4 teams in any other division in the league would have a real shot to win it. And it's going to be fun to see which one of them besides Kansas City emerge. It could be a 2 or 3 team playoff group.
And the other big story to me, I think New England's going to be really good on defense. I thought Matt Judon was a great signing. Christian Barmore, the second-round pick, should play well. And look, Mac Jones doesn't have to be great, but I think we'll be talking about players like Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith as very good players this year that are helping in the run game and be able to sort of capture the edge, something that they weren't able to do with a rebuilt offensive line. I think New England really presses Buffalo. Not saying they're going to win the division, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they got all the ingredients. An incredibly smart group of people making their decisions. Some people want to make it seem like because Brady won without Belichick, that lessens what Belichick has achieved. In my mind, they're both great. We happen to put 2 great people together, so we got an unprecedented runs of wins and Super Bowl appearances. The thing for me that I worry about a little in New England, which I was surprised to see, is they went after some guys that have some pretty significant injury history, and they really need those guys to stay healthy. Obviously, Henry is the most conspicuous. I mean, everybody saw from the middle of his first year how talented he was. They really need the running backs and the tight ends to control the middle of the field to do what they want on offense. So they really need these guys to stay healthy.